Okay, I just got back from seeing The Conjuring Last Rites. It's the final Conjuring movie in the Conjuring universe. So sad because the movies are decent. um, so what I wanted to do a non-spoiler and then I want to do a spoiler review, but I want to keep it in the same video to make the editing easier. So I will put a thing to let you know when the spoiler part is about to happen, but this will be the non-spoiler part. And I have a lot to say. But this is the non-spoiler part, and we are going to start with the positives and what I liked about it. I need to make like a blooper videos and put it together and post it because I just be like, but anyways, same director directed this one, and I will say he did a better job with the lighting in this movie than he did in the third movie, because the third movie's lighting was bright like this. You wouldn't think you were in a freaking Conjuring universe or Conjuring movie, but this one he did better, and I was happy about that. I was like, yes, you did better with the lighting. Like, this is feeling more like a Conjuring movie. The way he would direct and shoot, not direct, but the way they would shoot certain angles. They did a lot of close-ups too. I didn't really care for the close-ups, but they had this one shot of Vera Farmiga going through the house, and you see a mirror, and she's looking around, but the camera's pointed towards the mirror, so you see her looking. It was just cool to me. If you see the movie, you'll see what I'm talking about. The actors were good, honestly. You have Ed and Lorraine, of course. You have Judy, the daughter. You have Judy's boyfriend, Tony, and you have the Smurls. That's her name. The Smurls family, you know? And the acting was good. Like, I didn't think the acting was bad. Personally, the acting's never bad in these movies to me. I always think the acting was good, and it was good here. They actually took it's a 2-hour movie, so a 2-hour and 8-minute movie, I think. Anyways, they took their time with you getting to know the characters. And I like that. You know, in some horror movies, they're just quick to like, oh, these are the characters. You get little personality traits and that's all you know about them. But this, they actually took their time with it. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed getting to know them. You do laugh in this, and you do. There was a couple of jump scares. One got me pretty good, but all in all, I mean, James Wan didn't direct the movie. And you know, he directed the first 2 Conjuring movies, and the first 2 are fantastic. The second one, that's a masterpiece to me. It's my opinion. Love that movie. And it's just like these last 2, you can just tell it's not him. Now, he was a producer on it, but producing and directing are 2 totally different things. I want you to direct, sir. It's your story. He didn't write it. He didn't write this one. And I don't even think he wrote the last one, but you can just tell. You can just tell. I want to say more positives, low-key. Like I said, more positives. I like the way the beginning started because it's a flashback, of course. That's nothing new if you watch these movies. And to be honest, it was a young Ed and Lorraine, and I thought they had Patrick Wilson, and he was just de-aged, and I was like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? But I looked, and they actually got young actors, so I was like, oh, thank God you did that. I was about to be like, why? But I liked the beginning because, you know, the trailer, they said this is like their last case and it was crazy and everything. So you see what happens like at the beginning, because they're trying to help someone, and you know, Lorraine's doing her thing, walking around trying to feel out for it, and something happens, something cracks, and you see this vision, and we're rushing out of the place. We get to the destination, and she's freaking out, everybody's freaking out, and the lights go out, and you just see the CGI was just, we're not even gonna get into that, positives. You just see this thing, and it's like, oh man, that's pretty cool. I was getting excited. I was like, oh, okay, what's it like what is this thing gonna look like in this in this installment? What is the thing gonna look like? I'm always curious about that because the designs are usually so very cool. And then, you just get, look, it's not really a montage, but the beginning is like, oh, okay, like I would like to see that. I was kind of curious about like their life and everything and how we got to where we were. And that was fine. You got to meet the boyfriend. He was really funny. I don't know who the actor was, Ben something, but I thought he was funny. And I don't know if this is his first role, but I think he did a good job. Like I said, there's things I liked, and there are things that I did not like. So I kind of want to get into the spoiler talk, because I can say more positives in the spoiler talk too, along with what I want to say in the spoiler talk. But honestly, if you've seen like all the Annabelles and all the Conjuring movies in theaters, obviously go see it. I was going to see it regardless in the theaters because I've seen every single one, and I like the universe. So yeah, of course I'm gonna go see it. And it's like spooky season time. Why wouldn't you go see it? Okay. But yeah, definitely go see it. If you never watched these movies, there's no reason for you to go see it, I guess. But I mean, why not check out the Conjuring universe? Annabelle's a part of that too. So it's like you could watch it in chronological order, or you can watch it like how they came out, like year-wise. But definitely go see it. I still had a good time with it. No matter how I felt about the whole movie, I had a good time. And I will say the director got better at certain things from the last movie. So I can say that I am impressed with that. And I hope he looks back on a lot of this and takes more notes like he did before. But yeah, now on to the spoiler review talk. Okay. This is the spoiler talk review of The Conjuring Last Rites. I will say this now. This movie was 2 hours because they wanted y'all to really get to know Ed and Lorraine Warren, like, without them doing the paranormal demon stuff and exorcisms and everything, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you don't explain things to me, or you take shit from the second and other movies and put them in this movie, I have a problem. And I'm not saying like callbacks, nostalgia characters, because when I tell you there's nostalgia characters, you get characters from every single fucking movie that are there. And it's like, if you don't know who they are, trust me, we'll pan and show you who they are. I don't even care about that. That doesn't even matter. I had a good time watching the movie. I enjoyed the scares. There were certain things, like they were doing certain things with the shadow. You saw the one demon dude that you see in the trailer standing in the corner and everything. The mom from the Smurls family, she over here in the basement, and she turns and looks, and I was about to say, if this bitch does not see this dude in the corner, but she did, and she was slowly going towards the stairs. And honestly, I thought she was going to run up the stairs and he was going to like run at her or whatever, but he didn't. She turned the light on and he disappeared, and I was like, okay, that was a good one. It got my anxiety up and everything. Like, that was great. There was another fucking jump scare. I think this was one of the clips that I had saw on YouTube, because they were it was a commercial on TV, because they were comparing the original clips to the movie, where the dad said that the door opened and he told the ghost or demon, whatever, to punch him. And he did. And in the movie, the door opens and you see the dad try to reach for his glasses and shit happens. And he turns, things right here. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. That was good. That was good. That got me. I was like, okay, that was good. The daughter, Judy, listen, the demon, at the beginning, they're helping this lady. Of course, they're helping this lady. Her dad hung himself in the antique shop, and she said there's something in there. Lorraine goes in, and she's pregnant with Judy. She touches the mirror, looks at the mirror, and you see the demon like morph. It looked pretty cool. I was like, okay, this is going to be it's 2 hours. We about to get some epic fucking shit, man. I was getting excited because, like I said, it's it's not bright like this. It's not bright like the third movie. It's a darker tone. I'm like, all right, cool. You get a vision, and it's like the baby and everything. They rush out of there scared. The demon follows them to the hospital, obviously. Demon follows them to the hotel. I mean, not hotel, to the hospital, of course. And makes an appearance, whatever. And the baby ends up being stillborn, but is brought back to life, or through prayer, God, obviously. And then you just see them living their lives, and she grows up, and they get older, and they're not taking cases anymore, and they're just living a normal life. And then the mirror comes back, and of course, you know, the conduit and all that type of stuff. I don't need to explain that. The Smurl's teenage daughters threw away the mirror because it was creepy, and that's when shit started going off and popping off. But it's like, you're spending a lot of time with the Warrens, and that's all fine and good, but when we get back to the fucking Smurls, they all are over here looking crazy. They look like they got beat up and been through it. The daughter, who was throwing up glass earlier, is over here like, oh, Dad, you don't believe us? What did the church say? And things are happening to all of us. And I'm thinking, okay, we fast forward, they're gonna go like a week or two prior or whatever. We don't get to see what fucking happens to them. We don't get to fucking see what happened to them, from where we got to taking the daughter to the hospital because she's throwing up blood, to where they're all freaking out saying the church hasn't done anything. So you've already contacted the church? What happened? You meet the boyfriend of Judy, and there's a party. You're spending the whole time at the party, literally getting to know the boyfriend, getting to know Judy more. And she be having like visions and stuff because she can see the ghost too. And to be honest, it was kind of bothering me every time somebody would have a vision or something, it would just go dark. Like, I get you're working on light and everything, but you don't need to sit here and every time she's having a freak out or a vision, she makes a face and it just gets dark. That got old. And that was annoying. The Smurls went to the news, you know, so the news can get the word out there because the church wasn't helping them, and Ed and Lorraine are retired. Bruce was following the Smurls case that was on the news because everybody was talking about it, of course. So he went to go visit them in Pennsylvania because that's where this is taking place. He gets there, says he's going to help, and he starts putting the holy water around and everything, and that stuff starts steaming and he's like, oh, there's a demon here, I'm gonna go get help, the church will listen to me. And I guess the demon followed him to the church, which I don't know. Followed him to the church and he started, I guess he was having a vision, but it wasn't a vision because the lady at the front desk just disappeared and the darkness of the demon came and he hung himself. Didn't get an explanation really. I was just to sit there and to assume that the demon was like, you're not going to get in my way. Oh my gosh, get in my way. But that kind of didn't make sense to me because the demon wants Judy. So if the priest was going to the church so that he could convince Ed and Lorraine to help Judy, honestly, they just needed him to die so Judy could touch the coffin and go to Philadelphia because the demon wants her. So we're fast forwarding through all that. Ed and Lorraine get to the house because Judy's there because she had a vision. And she's going through the house. She's sensing her, she's doing her usual thing. You know what Lorraine does. So something happens and she's talking to Ed outside and she sits there and says, there are 3 demons. There's 3 entities in the house, whatever. There's a guy, a woman, and an older lady. And she said the woman was having an affair with somebody and the husband went into a rage and found out. The daughter took the mom downstairs into the basement and the husband went down there and killed them. So almost like Amityville Horror, right? Okay. So that's typical. Okay. But then she also says, something's different. Something is blocking me. There's something else controlling them to terrorize the family. Okay, who? What? Like, we didn't even get a name. The first one was Bathsheba, right? And then the second one was Valak. I don't even remember the third one. I kid you not. But she never said a name. They never said a name. Hold on. I knew I wasn't tripping because I had just had to look it up. No, they never mentioned the demon's name. You want to know why? And I was going to get into the comparisons after this. So you want to know why they didn't reveal the demon's name? Apparently, we're supposed to assume the demon is Malthus, which is Annabelle's demon. And Annabelle did make appearances in this movie and was haunting Judy. Why was she haunting Judy? I don't know. They didn't explain it. I was just sitting here. I was to assume it's because, you know, Judy's been around all this stuff all her life and her parents have all these artifacts and cursed objects in the house. She's bound to see something. She saw Valak. Y'all, Annabelle was making more appearances. Valak didn't even make an appearance. Only in the painting. So it's like, are you telling me Annabelle was controlling this the whole time? I'm supposed to assume that, right? Because guess what? You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me. So I'm supposed to assume that. Do y'all remember in The Conjuring 2 when they ran across the street and were staying the night at the neighbors? Or no, not that part. Do y'all they weren't at the neighbors. They were still at their house. and the little brother was going into the tent and the crooked man was there and he came out the tent and he was big and everything. Okay, so why did they do basically the same exact thing? Judy was looking around like she wasn't supposed to, right? And you see Annabelle sitting in the corner and she gets up and does that whole shit, you know? And she grows big. When I tell you the CGI, she grew big like the crooked man and basically like chased her. So that was like the Conjuring 2. If you guys ever saw Sinister, that's a great movie too. When Ethan Hawke's character was coming around to the attic part and the ladder was down and he had to go up to the attic and see what was happening. Yeah, they did that here too with Judy. She came around the corner and the attic ladder was down and she went up and found the mirror and all this crazy stuff started happening like Sinister. I'm not meaning to compare it, but you're the director. Another thing, I think this is the last comparison I saw. Well, there's probably more, but these are this is the other one I picked up on. In The Conjuring 2, when they're in the basement with the water and everything, and they had it leaking, and there was the entity that was the old guy entity sneaking up on Ed when he was fixing the pipe, and the mom was like, saw him, and she said something, and if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, in this movie, Lorraine is in the basement. She gets knocked into the basement, of course, because she was in the basement in the second movie too. And the one of the three entities, the guy, the husband who killed the mom and daughter, came down the stairs and she was trying to hide from him and everything, and she turns around and there's the woman, but she gets axed and everything. So Lorraine is running away and she trips and falls into a pool of blood that's in the basement. And that reminded me of the second movie because Ed was in the basement that was filled with water, and she is in the basement filled with blood. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna skip forward. So during the movie, Lorraine was telling Judy to basically telling Judy to block out the entities and all that stuff since she could see them too. She's been telling her that since she was a little girl. So they came up with a song for it, and she's been trying to do that through the whole movie, but they're getting stronger and everything. After the mirror starts spinning and spinning and spinning, and Ed is trying to, do the exorcism and it's not working. If you look into the mirror, apparently you see yourself as a demon, and everybody's freaking out. And usually Lorraine's all badass and she's over here like she was in the first and second one, doing all the freaking chanting and shit. Yeah, no. She went to her daughter and told her daughter to embrace it and not to run away, even though she was telling her to run away her whole life and up until this point, the whole movie. And she gathers her together and they all three put their hands on the mirror, and the mirror breaks and cracks. And that's how we beat the no-name demon in The Conjuring Last Rites. So not only did we not get a demon name, you got defeated the way you did. You were like a menace the whole entire movie, especially at the beginning, bro. You killed the kid. You killed the kid. I think I need to rewatch the third one to see which one I like better, because I don't know, because it's definitely not a tie. This and it doesn't just end. But Judy gets married to the boyfriend. Oh, because the boyfriend was there the whole time, and you know he's such a Boy Scout and we love him and whatever. I liked his character. Like I said, the actors were fine. The story. Yeah, I gotta rewatch the third one. I honestly left feeling disappointed because I wanted more. I wanted more. These fell off. The first two were fantastic. These last three were not it. And this was the last movie. Like I said, go see it if you've seen every single Conjuring movie. Like I said, I was having a good time, but you gave me time with the demons, but how are you going to come up with these three entity stories and say there was another demon behind it, but not say who the demon was? And we are to assume it was Annabelle because Annabelle was popping up everywhere when she's supposed to be locked in a case. I saw this movie at 7:15. I worked. I haven't even relaxed today. And I got the cat's new litter and stuff. And I did all this and went to go see the movie. I got out of the movie at 9:30 and went to go get food. And I'm sitting here like, this isn't a must see. In my opinion, like, you don't need to see it. If anything, if you really want to see it, go to a matinee or go with a group of friends. Like, the lady next to me was getting scared. She was plugging her ears and everything, and she would jump at certain things. The guy next to me, I think he was annoyed with the movie because he was like this. I was like, yeah, but go see it with a group of friends, have a good time. I love horror movies so much. They're like my favorite, and this is, like I said, one of my favorite universes. So like I said, I am a little disappointed. I had my standards low already because of the last one. And when I saw that it debuted on Rotten Tomatoes at a 65%, I was like, well, we'll see. Yeah, but I give it, it was okay. It was 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10, 3 out of 5. Eventually I'll come up with a rating scale. I still have to review Weapons. I finished Dexter, the original Dexter, and I finished Dexter New Blood. So I want to talk about those because I got a lot to say too. I still have to watch Resurrection, but I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you like, subscribe, and comment, and tell me what you think. Tell me what you thought about The Conjuring Last Rites. They're apparently supposed to be coming out with a TV show too, I think. Oh boy, hopefully we get James Wan to direct it. But yeah, next movie I'm seeing next week is Demon Slayer. I'm so excited. I hope you guys go see that too. And I hope you guys have a great afternoon, morning, and evening whenever you stumble upon this video. I'm going to go, what time is it for me? It's like 11 something for me, so I'm going to edit this tomorrow and post it, and I'm gonna eat my chicken wings. Bye.